Happy Monday, everyone. It's February 10th now. This devotional is titled A Time to Reflect by Pastor Mark uh, Maciel of Calvary Chapel, Downey, uh, in California. All right. Verse says, Then I looked on all the works that my hands had wrought. Ecclesiastes 2:11 in the King James Version. How many of us have made resolutions and promises at the beginning of the year, only to break them a few months later? We can learn something about promises by taking a look at Solomon and what he learned after reflecting upon his own life. The wisest man of all time, Solomon, covered his entire life in 3 verses. So I was great and increased more than that before me in Jerusalem. Also my wisdom remained with me, and whatsoever uh, mine uh, whatsoever mine eyes, this language is difficult for me, desired, I kept not from them. I withheld my heart from any joy, for my heart rejoiced in all my labor, and this was my portion of all my labor. Then I looked on all the works that my hands had wrought, and on the labor that I had labored to do, and behold, all was vanity and vexation of spirit, and there was uh, no profit under the sun. Ecclesiastes 2:9 through 11. When Solomon was young, he satisfied his desires through his own lust, and as he matured, he wrote Proverbs. And as he evaluates his life in the book of Ecclesiastes, he sees his accomplishments and he concludes that there's no profit of his own accomplishments that hasn't already been done under the sun. Maybe it's time to reevaluate our resolutions and promises. Are we coming up empty and disappointed, and maybe failing by breaking promises? If so, we need to lay these resolutions and promises at the cross and seek the Lord for His will for the changes that we need in our lives. This is maturity, when we are willing to let go of our fleshly and worldly desires and allow God to move us in His Word and in His service. Now that is profitable. Well, not much else I could say other than kind of my 2 cents. I don't like New Year's resolutions. Personally, that's a me problem because I see that if it's always something that you promise and never fulfill, it's always, in my experience, in my view of things, it's always been a lie. Resolutions have always been lies that you tell yourself that you're going to do and you never fulfill it, even when you start. And I get where Pastor Mark is going through, or what he wants to put through here, the idea. And he uses a perfect example of that is that Solomon was given great wisdom by God, and he had it. And then he gathered wives. He gathered everything an Israelite king was not supposed to. And those wives came from cultures where they worshiped different gods. And they introduced that into his life, and he ended up worshiping other gods and allowing those things to take control of how he thought and what he did. And he became very greedy. Like, there had been a great wealth in Israel during his time. And then it started going downhill when he started these great projects where he needed people, specifically servants, and that's the nice word I'm going to use, to build those great projects. And just at the end of his life, like what Pastor Mark said here, is he looked back and just saw like all the works that he did were works of the flesh, and there was no value in it whatsoever. And fast forwarding to us, our modern times, I know how much stuff that I've done that is water. it had no meaning at all, and it was all to either glorify myself or was not with the leading of the Holy Spirit, even though I believe that there were things that God told me to do that I did of my own power instead of relying on Him. And that's the point, is it's relying on God. Just like what the Bible verse on Friday was, the devotion on Friday, devotion on Thursday, is just the trust and reliance on God, not allowing fear, not allowing greed, not allowing selfishness, lust, just evil, not allowing evil to reign in your life, but seeking God, trusting God, following His goodness, reflecting His goodness. And I believe that's the encouragement, is to continue in the work of God, to glorify God, to love others, to care for the things that He has put on your heart. Yeah. Well, I'll see y'all tomorrow. May God bless you all today.